But for a beginner lash artist, it needs to be said. It needs to be talked about. Hey Lash Babes, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, it is a very special video because I haven't done one of these beginner video in a very long time, and I figured, you know what, let's go back to the basics. Let's start talking about things that beginner lash artists normally have questions on. And I have a huge list of all the questions that I've gotten over the years from beginner lash artists asking specific questions that in my mind would probably never cross my mind because obviously I have a little more experience. But for a beginner lash artist, it needs to be said. It needs to be talked about. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about how much product you need as a beginner lash artist, specifically lashes. I've done a few of these videos and they're pretty old, so I figured let's just do a refresher. I was recommending other brands' products, and in case you guys don't know, if you are new here, I do have my own product line. It is called YLB, obviously Yuri's Lash&Beauty, and it's not to sit here and talk about my brand. It's mainly just to give you guys an idea of how much product you actually need, especially lashes, because this is the one thing that we go through a lot, especially as a beginner. You're going to be practicing and your trays are going to go as quick as you bought them. So we want to make sure that not only are we getting good quality products, because it will make our job easier. So if you're somebody that is buying off of Amazon because you feel like it's cheaper, I am telling you, you're gonna have a hard time, and that is probably why you're struggling, because when you are working with not so good quality products, it makes your job harder. Not only am I going to show you guys or talk about how much product you need to be buying, I'm also going to be showing you guys how to read your lash trays. I know the numbers and the curls get a little confusing, so I am going to show you guys how to do all of that today. That way I make your job so much simpler, because it's already hard being a beginner. Now you have to understand what these lash trays mean. Okay, I completely get it. Okay, I've been in your shoes. I know. I feel like, me personally, I just learned as I went. I don't know about you guys, but my first training was horrible. I felt like I walked out of there not knowing nothing, and that is honestly why I've dedicated my YouTube channel, is to helping you learn and understand the lash industry by making your job simpler and taking the guessing out of it all, because now I'm here. I can teach you guys all that. So first things first, as a beginner, you are going to be spending a lot of money testing out different brands. And I'm going to say this because there's so many brands out there, so many brands, and I am going to tell you that sometimes cheaper is not better, but not always is expensive better, especially as a beginner lash artist, because one, we don't have clientele. Two, most of us are doing this as a side hustle, hopefully wanting to turn this into a full-time business. So we do have to be smart about how much we are investing and where it's going to. And let's just say that sometimes, trust me, I've been sucked into the glamour of it all, and you know, because it's so pretty, or the colors, and they make it look so elegant, it sometimes ends up being a letdown, and you spend X amount of money on buying these expensive products just for it to be a huge letdown, and you're like, damn, I spent like $500 on this brand and the tweezers don't work, the lashes are stuck, they don't fan out. I get it. Okay, this is the reason why I decided to jump into the product side within my business, because I knew that even though there's so many brands out there, just the quality wasn't there. And I feel like, because I am known to be teaching beginner lash artists, sometimes the price is a little too much for most of us. I know that when I was beginner lash artist, it was hard for me to even come up with the money to buy new lash trays, and every little dollar that I was making, I was putting it back into buying more lash supplies. And honestly, if it wasn't for all those little challenges that I went through, I probably wouldn't be where I am today, because it has taught me to keep investing in my business. But now, me being a lash supplier, My biggest goal was to give you guys high quality products at an affordable price. And if you guys don't know, I do offer a lash membership where you can get all my lash products at an amazing discount. You don't need no special holiday. On top of it too, on special holidays, you do get an even bigger discount. You get free shipping if you're within the US, and you also get my online courses training for free with my membership. That is like a one-stop shop for everything you need to have a successful lash business. So if you're not on my Yoys Plus membership, you are missing out, because it is truly a game changer and it is what the industry needed. Nowhere else are you going to find products and courses included in one, and mentorship and support of your community. It's just everything that every lash artist needs. So make sure to check the link down below so you guys can get more information, and I will add the special video here for you guys so you guys can learn a little bit more about it. Okay, so on to the products. You need to be using high quality products. That's going to make your job so much simpler. Just because you buy stuff off of Amazon because it's cheaper, you think it's going to help you save money, but in reality, you're making your job worse, because now you're struggling how to make fans, you're struggling to pick up those lashes, the tweezers are not working, the adhesive is causing reactions. It's a hot mess. So I would recommend for you guys to stay off of Amazon, because you don't know how long those products have been sitting on the shelves. Okay, now when it comes to knowing how much product to buy, as a beginner lash artist, especially, we're going to be testing out different brands to see which one you end up falling in love with, because I went through every brand you can think of back in the day, like the top dogs. I went through every brand possible out there, and I fell in love with a few brands, stuck with them for a while, and then just eventually decided to come out with my own brand. But in the beginning, I just spent a lot. Everything that I was making was going back into my business. So before you go and spend X amount of money on buying lash trays, let's understand the difference between all of them. So in order to understand, we need to know the different types of lashes out there. So maybe you weren't taught in your beginner course, maybe you're self-taught, maybe you are trying to learn everything on your own, which I don't recommend for you to do. I recommend for you to invest in a training and actually understand it. And even if you have already invested in a training, I'm here to tell you that there is not enough time in this world or in a training for you to possibly know everything coming out of your first initial training. So it is your job to go out and keep learning and investing in your education. I am 5 years in and I'm still investing in my education, learning from other trainings and implementing new things, new techniques, new styles. So as a beginner lash artist, learning does not stop in your first training. So do not come out feeling defeated or thinking that you did not learn anything, because maybe your trainer did teach you the basics, which is what we need to know and understand. But if you're someone that has never taken a training, who refuses to take a training, let's pause a little bit, okay? I'm here to tell you, you're gonna have a harder time understanding everything there is to know about lash extensions if you don't have the right guidance. If you yourself is trying to learn and do everything on your own, you're going to struggle a little bit more compared to somebody who initially got their first training and was taught A to Z about the difference between a classic and a volume, all that fun stuff. Okay, so if that is you, I recommend for you guys to take at least an online course. Again, my online courses are included free in my membership. You will get certified. I have over 6 courses that you can take and just get your foot in the door and in the right direction as a lash artist. So now when it comes to products, you need to understand that there are so many different types of lash styles out there. We have your original classic lashes, which you will end up using classic lash trays. So with classic lash trays, they usually run anywhere from a 0.10 to a 0.20 or a 0.25, and that just means the thickness. So the diameter of the lash means the thickness of the actual little fiber, the little hair, and I normally stick to like a 0.15 for a classic lash. And the way to understand that on a tray is that it's going to tell you right here. I don't know if you can see this. Okay, so right here it says 0.15. That means that the thickness of the lashes in here is a 0.15, meaning that it is a classic lash. So this right here is a classic tray, and for my own products I make sure to simplify it for you guys. So say classic lash extensions on the tray, that way it's easy to understand that this one is a 0.15, meaning it is a classic tray. So with classic lashes, they are going to last you a little bit longer unless you are that person that is strictly doing classic lashes. Maybe you're a beginner lash artist who still doesn't understand how to do volume fans or mega volume, so you are mainly sticking to classic lashes. With classic lashes, you're only putting one extension per natural lash, so you are not using these ones to make fans to create a fluttery voluminous look. Okay, classic lashes are not meant for volume, they are mainly meant just for classic lashes, hence classic lash extensions. Okay, 1:1 ratio, so meaning one extension per natural lash. So these ones will last you a little bit longer. At least for me, I don't really normally do classic lashes as much. So one lash tray will last me a pretty long time, especially because you're only using one little fiber per natural lash. And now we have the flat ellipse lashes. It is the same thing, classic lashes. If you are interested and want to know the difference between a flat ellipse lash and a regular classic lash, they're both classics. The only difference is that flat lashes are exactly what they sound like. The bases are flat, meaning that they'll be able to attach to the natural lash a little bit better compared to a classic lash. I'm going to be doing a full dedicated video all about this if you do not understand what it is that I'm talking about. Okay, so I have two different classic trays here. I have a 0.15, they're both 0.15s actually. The only difference is that the curl on here, it actually tells you, I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so here it says 0.15, that is the diameter. Then it says C curl, so that's pretty obvious to understand. It just means that the curl of the lashes are C curl. They're a little more relaxed, a little more natural looking. And when it does say mix on here, that means that it has a whole variety of different lengths. So usually if the tray is a mixed tray, it'll tell you. And as you can see, it has lashes 8 through 14 millimeters. So it goes from short to longest. And usually a lot of trays will tell you exactly what that tray carries. If it's like an 8 millimeter, if it's a single length tray, it'll say 8 millimeter right here where it says mix, but this one it says mix because it has all lengths. As you can see, this one is a CC curl, so this one means that it's a little bit curlier compared to your regular C curl. So you have C, CC, and then D, and then DD. If you do not understand the curls, then again, I recommend for you guys to take my beginner online course. That way you guys can understand what curls are, the thicknesses, the diameters, what lashes to use for what style, and I go into detail about all that. So if you don't understand, I recommend for you guys to stop this video, sign up to my membership, and start learning all about lash extensions today. Okay, so another example of how to read lash trays are these ones right here. So as you can see, this one says 0.05 C curl mix. So 0.05 usually is what I would use for a volume lash design. So volume are the ones where you pick up a little bit more lashes to create a fan. So with a 0.05, because the lash is a little bit thinner, that means that you can create fans to create that voluminous fluffy look compared to a classic lash. A classic lash is a 0.15, so that means it's pretty thick. So with a 0.05, because of the lashes, the little fibers are a lot thinner, you'll be able to pick them up to create beautiful fans. And because we are working with lighter diameters, you do have to use better quality tweezers to be able to pick up the lashes and fan them out. If you're somebody who is struggling with that, I do have a volume online course that you guys can take for free and start learning how to make those beautiful fans effortless and create those fluffy lash looks that you're going for. So since this is a 0.05, it is considered volume, and this one again says mixed tray, and it is a C curl. Okay, so this one has 8 millimeter all the way to 16 millimeter, so it is a variety of different lengths on here. Then we have our 0.03, and this one is a D curl. Since 0.03 is a lot thinner than a 0.05, 0.03 is what you would use for like those mega dramatic, thick, dense looks, because the lashes are the thinnest that you can get them. They're super thin, meaning you do need high quality tweezers to pick up those thin little lashes. So because they are thinner than the 0.05, that means you could pick up double the lashes and create thicker, fuller fans to create that dense look that your client is wanting to achieve. Okay, so now you understand that a 0.15 is what you would use for a classic lash, 0.05 is what you would use for a soft light volume look, and then 0.03 is what you would use for a very dramatic, dense look. As a beginner, I recommend for you to start off with your basic curls like a C and a D. That way you don't go out and start buying so many different kinds of curls and then confuse yourself, because again, there's so many out there. So as a beginner, C and D curl, and then maybe a little CC in there if you want, and start off with mixed trays, because you'll be able to get a variety of different lengths that you can play around with and see if that brand that you are testing is good for you. Now, say you did end up trying on my lashes, you love them, or any other brands, and you want to stick to continue buying those lashes. Mixed trays are going to cost you a lot more money if you continue to buy them in the mixed trays. So as a beginner, once you do find the brand that you love, I recommend for you to jump into buying single length trays. What I mean by single length trays is, say you do love my royal cashmere lashes in 0.03, you love doing mega dramatic volume lashes, so you want to continue buying the 0.03 lashes, and say you do use like an 11 or 12 or 13 millimeter a lot more than maybe like an 8 millimeter, then buying single length trays is going to save you more money than buying mixed trays. You would think that because they're mixed trays, you get a lot more lengths in your trays, so it goes a longer way, but in reality it doesn't. Because say you do have a new client and you're doing this very dramatic look, you're going to go through specific lengths depending on what you use on them a lot quicker than any other length. So now that mixed tray is probably going to be out of 12s, maybe 14s, maybe 13s, and now when another client comes in, you are out of those lengths, and now you're only left with like 8, 9, 10, and probably like a 16. So you can't really use that tray because now you're out of all the other lengths, right? So that's why it's more smart and beneficial for you to jump into buying single length trays. So what I mean by single length trays is it's literally the exact same lashes. The only difference is that instead of it having a lot of different lengths in here, it's going to have one specific length. So this one is an 8 millimeter, and the way you can tell is that it'll tell you right here 8 millimeters. So that means that there's only 8 millimeter lashes in here. Millimeter just means like the length of them. Okay, so as you can see, they're tiny little lashes, so that means that all those little lash strips are all size 8 millimeters. This tray right here will last you a lot longer, to as many clients as you can lash using that same length compared to buying a mixed tray. So obviously you want to have a variety of different lengths, especially if you use certain lengths a little bit more. This one right here is a 13 millimeter, and as you can tell, the lashes are a little bit longer. So if you were to buy, say 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I know that sounds like a lot of lash trays. That's like 8 different lash trays, but in reality, because you have so many strips that you can use for as many clients as you can until you run out, it's actually going to last you a lot longer than if you keep buying mixed trays, because one of these will probably last you for like 2 clients the most, depending. If for mega volume, you'll definitely go through these a lot quicker because you're using a lot more lashes compared to like a 0.05 because you're picking up less lashes, or compared to a classic tray because you're only picking up 1 extension per natural lash. But if you're using a 0.03, you're picking up a lot more lashes to create those big mega fans, right? So it depending on the looks you're doing, the styles you're doing, and how much product you're using, you're going to go through certain types of lash trays a little bit quicker than others. Okay, so again, the best way to save money is to sign up to my membership and get my products at an amazing discount, better than you will find anywhere else, plus free shipping within the States. I mean, you can't get better than that. Okay, so now that we understand that mixed trays are meant for you to try different brands and see if that brand you are using is worth you investing in buying single length trays, then now you understand that when you do find the brand that you love, buy single length trays on the numbers that you normally use the most. Back in the day, I would have about 2 trays for a specific length because I knew that those were the ones that I went through the most. But nowadays, I don't really care too much about keeping up with how much I have because I have, you know, my inventory on stock. But as a beginner, that's what I recommend for you guys to do is, again, mixed trays are if you are wanting to try the brand out. Once you love it and you know exactly what lengths you use on the daily, then I recommend for you to start buying the single length trays because it's going to save you more money and it's going to last you a little bit longer. And sometimes buying mixed trays are a little bit pricier than buying a single length tray. Not for my brand, but a lot of brands out there do that. So I'm just telling you guys that if you want to be smart about saving money, sign up to Yoyos Plus and then go from buying mixed trays to single length trays. Okay, another thing I want to also mention is I know a bunch of you guys do use pre-made fans or Premade fans because most of you guys do not know how to create your own fans to create those voluminous looks. So I do carry my own collection of Premade fans. They are created with heat at the base to give you those very snatched thin bases. Like, look how beautiful they are. I was on a mission trying to perfect my brand, and especially using Premade fans. I have clients who go up to a full month with Premade fans and they still have amazing retention. So if you're somebody that is struggling with retention on Premade fans, I do have videos on my membership where you guys can learn how to achieve high retention or good retention using fans. But when it comes to using Premade fans, they are more pricier. They're pricier. They are pricier. Okay, what am I trying to say? So when you buy one of these little lash trays, they last you a little bit longer. Yes, the only difference is that you may be struggling to create your own fans. So if you're a beginner lash artist, do not give up. Keep putting in the work. Buy high quality tweezers, which I recommend mine, because it's going to make your job so much easier. Okay, so when you buy lash trays like these, you are not spending as much. For my lash trays, they go for like $11 through my membership compared to other brands that are like $18, $25 for one tray. So I mean, do the math, you're saving. Okay, so say you're buying this for $11 compared to one of these boxes of Premade fans, compared to like what, $35, $45, $55, a lot of brands depending on the price. So you actually get a lot more bang for your buck learning how to make your own fans using these little lash trays, because you're only paying say $11 depending on the brand, okay, compared to buying boxes like these of Premade fans. Something like this is gonna last you probably 1 to 2 clients, and you're probably gonna be left with like maybe the shorter and the longer lengths depending on the style you are doing. So something like this is going to cost you a lot more money. Yes, it'll probably save you time if that is something that you want, but at the end of the day, it's going to cost you a lot more money compared to buying these. So you're probably going to buy one box at like $35, $45 compared to buying 3 of these little lash trays. So it's in your best interest to put in the work and learn how to make your own handmade fans. That way you save money, because at the end of the day, this video is all about saving money and being smart about where your money goes to, right? Okay, so now that you guys understand, I'm not saying these are bad. I love using Premade fans, especially if you're somebody that's like low on time and you want to kind of like speed up your time. Using Premade fans are beautiful and they're perfect for somebody that is struggling. I'm just saying, you know, if we want to be smart, Okay, so I know somebody's gonna end up asking me, well, how much do I need to buy as a beginner lash artist? Again, I've done a couple of these videos, and it's a little bit different for everybody because, again, it depends on what service you are providing. If you're a classic girly who's only providing classic lashes because that's all you know, then stock up on mixed trays, because to this day, I have never, not once, ever bought in single length trays for classic lashes, just because I was on my mega volume era where I was doing those dense looks. I know it was a style, it was a trend. Nowadays, not that many people go for like very dramatic looks. But even back in the day, I absolutely hated classic lashes, and now they're like one of my favorite styles. I wish I would do them a lot more, but not that many people request it. And if they do, they want something that looks like a classic lash, but a little more denser and fuller. So that's when I would use like volume lashes to mimic the look of a classic lash, but just a little more flirty and beautiful. I'm gonna put a little picture here for you guys. So as a beginner lash artist, classic lashes are going to last you a lot longer unless you are practicing, which you should be doing. You should be using high quality products even to practice, because it's going to make your job easier. Say you are a beginner lash artist and you prefer to buy off of Amazon because it's cheaper, right? You're actually doing yourself a disservice, because you're going to struggle a lot more, and you're probably going to be sitting there wondering, is it me? Like, am I the problem? But in reality, it might be the lashes you're using. It might be the tweezers you're using, compared to somebody who jumped into using a little bit better quality products. They were able to master volume lashing a lot quicker because the lashes they were using fan like butter. The tweezers they're using pick up those lashes like nothing. I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference. So jump into using better quality products, because it's going to make your job so much easier. I feel like I repeated myself, but you know, it has to be said. So say you are a lash artist who is using volume lash trays, and now you found the brand that you love. Now you want to invest into buying single length trays because you know it's going to save you money. They're going to last you a little bit longer. So what I would recommend is take notes of all the clients you do have, all the links that you normally go by a lot faster, and get at least 1 to 2 trays of those single length trays. So me specifically, I normally go through links 10 to 14, no more. I tend to not use 14s as much. So 10, 11, 12, and 13 are the links that I normally go through a lot quicker. I do tend to use a lot more numbers in my sets to give it this beautiful, dramatic, and subtle look. So if you're somebody that's only using one length all throughout the lash line, I'm here to tell you that ends today, because it's not cute, it's not flattering. So do your best to add a little bit more links throughout your sets to give it a little more dimension, a little more texture, and it just complements your client's eye shapes a little bit better. So that is why I use 10 to 13 a lot more, even though I do use shorter lengths. But because the shorter lengths are mainly right in the inner corners, I don't go through those as much as I normally do compared to a little bit longer lengths. So again, for me, I always had about 2 millimeters stocked for 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, because those were the lengths that I normally used a lot. Compared to now, it's a little bit different because my style has changed a little bit more. So as a beginner lash artist, I recommend for you to have at least 1 tray from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Again, they're gonna last you a lot longer than a mixed tray, okay? From there, you'll be able to really understand and know which trays you go through a little bit quicker, and you'll be the judge of where your money goes and how much you are spending, okay? But at least the smart thing to do is to stop buying mixed trays and start investing in single length trays. They're gonna go a lot longer, and you're gonna save a lot more money, especially if you're a Yoyis Plus member, because now you're not spending $25 on a lash tray, and you're getting free shipping, and you're getting courses for free, and mentorship, and the support of the community. What more do you want? Okay, so I hope this video made a lot more sense, and I hope it helped you guys understand how much product you actually need as a beginner lash artist, and I hope you guys understood how to read lash trays after this. Oh, I think I forgot to show you guys how to read pre-made fans or pro-made fans, whatever you call them. So as you can tell, it says 14D.03, C curl mix tray. So for fans, usually a 14D means that it has 14 little lashes in each one of these fans. And because they are 0.03, that means that they are mega volume fans. So when you are using mega volume fans, usually you're grabbing about 10 little lashes, 10 to like 20, depending on your client's thickness of their own natural lash. You obviously do not want to be going anything thicker or like way too dramatic, because you're going to end up damaging the client's lashes. So again, a 14D just means that it has 14 little lashes in each fan. So if these were to be 60, that means that it has 6 little lashes in each fan. So that's how you understand how many lashes are in a fan. So if you ever see somebody talking about, oh, I did this set using a 3D, 6D, 7D, 8D, 20D, that just means that the 20D is a 20 lash fan. 20 hairs in that lash fan. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so since this is a mixed tray, that means that it has all these lengths in it from 8 to 16 millimeters. Okay, the C curl, so it is a C curl. So don't confuse a 14D for it to be a D curl. That just means there's 14 lashes in that fan. The C is what is actually saying that it's a C curl. Okay, so I know it's a little confusing, but I hope that makes sense. 14D just means how many lashes are in a fan. The C is what actually says the type of curl it is. And since it is a 0.03, that means that those lashes are super thin, because it was used with tiny little fibers to create those fans. Just look how beautiful they are. Oh, I love my Premade fans. They're so good. Retention's amazing. Love them. Okay, so now I can say bye. Okay, so I hope this video made sense. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you are a beginner lash artist, I recommend for you guys to actually follow me and subscribe, because you guys do not want to miss out on all the information and content that I have here for you guys. And if you guys want to continue your education, I recommend for you guys to sign up to my Yodis Plus. You guys get all the support of my community and me. You get all the mentorship you need to become a successful lash artist. So you definitely do not want to miss out. Go sign up. Link is in the bottom. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.